Hello YouTube, this is Darkhon633. We're taking a look at another Transformers review. This time we're going to take a look at Warrior Class Scorponok in the basic Warrior class for Transformers Robots in Disguise. Now what's really weird is that this figure actually was released in many different retailers, or at least spotted in main retailers, after its retool Paralon already made it to Toys R Us, so it's strange how they were released. Anyways, we're going to take a look at the box. The box shows pretty good design for Scorponok there. Shows his Scorpion mode. He is a part of the Minicon Weaponizers assortment. Transfers in 10 steps, and that's pretty much it. Now we're going to take a look at Scorponok more closely. Articulation-wise, the head is on a ball joint with a good range of movement, especially looking in different directions. It actually is cool that we actually have a more articulated head, since a lot of the other Transformers and Robots in Disguise are quite limited from what I can tell. Unfortunately, the shoulder pieces here are not articulated, but it does have an inner shoulder joint on a ball joint, swivels at the biceps, and a single elbow as well. He has no waist articulation, but he has ball joints at the hips, swivels at the thighs, and double joints at the knees, with a little bit of feet pivot due to transformation. And that's pretty much it. He includes this really cool looking sword. It's like a pirate sword, and I think that's pretty cool. And it's actually quite accurate to the show model. To transform him, what we're going to do is remove the sword. And this has got some pretty interesting transformation steps. First, we're going to move the tail so it's in this position. Unpeg the shoulders, and this is where it gets kind of weird, only because Transformers don't usually have loose parts while during transformation, so this is kind of a weird design what they went with. What you're supposed to do here is open up the panels, and then hide the hands inside the open cavities of the shoulder pieces. So there we go. It's going to be a little bit tricky because you do need to move the joints in the correct position in order to get into place. But once you do, it should peg together properly. There we go. We're going to take this entire component here and pull it down. Push down the head. Technically, you don't really need to do anything, but it's better to just put the head there. We're going to pull out the Scorpion head, and this will collapse now like this. To finish out the transformation, what we're going to do is take these legs, turn them around so they look like this. It'll peg into the area, which we need to close off the feet. And it'll close off over like this. To finish the transformation, what we're going to do is actually, okay, so this is where I get confused. We're actually going to move the legs, and these will peg into the areas up here. So now we got it fully secured. And that pretty much covers the transformation to the Scorpion mode. And this mode is pretty cool, although unfortunately the large plastic pieces do weigh down the shoulder quite a bit. For this side it doesn't seem to do it as much. For some reason on this side it just really weighs it down. But it is a pretty good looking Scorpion mode. Articulation obviously as shown. It's pretty much the same we've seen with the robot, kind of, since it uses the same joint. It can swivel and move at the shoulder piece there, but because the hand is inside, there isn't another point of articulation, at least for the claws. These pieces are technically articulated, and he features a ball joint at the tail, another joint here, and another joint here. So you can actually put him in some pretty decent scorpion stinging poses. You can also take the sword, and you can plug it there. So now he looks like he's fully armed, ready to strike at any second. So in conclusion, I think Scorponok is a pretty cool figure released in the Warrior class line for Robots in Disguise, and I think it's definitely recommend picking up, especially if you're a fan of the character that showed up during Season 2. It is weird how late this figure got released since he did appear in the earlier half of Season 2, but it's still cool to see him be released in general. The only thing that is sad, I have to say, is that we still don't have a Saber Horn or Glow Strike, and at the rate they're going with the new subline with Transformers combiners for our next year, I don't think we'll be seeing them anytime soon, and that's a real shame since they had some really cool designs. So, maybe down the line, we'll see them in the Warrior class scale, but for now, I think Scorponok is still a pretty cool figure to get a hold of, and I think it's recommended. I got this at Walmart along with some of the other deluxes, which I've gotten recently, and I still think it's pretty worth it. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hero Taco and Hero Club. Also check me on Twitter under DarkClown633, and don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Please check down the other channels down below, and I'll be back with more Transformers reviews, but for now, I'll see you on YouTube. Bye.